Hey crew, I've got the key on my phone to this Tesla Model Y L Premium, the new long wheelbase version of the Model Y. And we are here at the Tesla Diner in Los Angeles. Mobile Mama's back there. We just got a snack inside. We are going to take it for a drive in the area, talk about the exterior and interior as well. But since I'm just sitting next to a supercharger, might as well mention that it's got 325 miles of range, and you can add back 164 miles of range in just 15 minutes. Now, while that's replenishing, which I can monitor on the phone app, let's talk about this exterior. The Model Y L is 7 inches longer overall than the standard Y, and 6 inches of that has been added to the wheelbase. And of course, it makes sense for Tesla to offer this vehicle now that the Model X over there has been discontinued. This actually now has more third row legroom than that vehicle did. And yet, from my vantage point, it doesn't look awkwardly stretched compared to the regular Y. And helping that is the fact that they increased the height with that length. Within Tesla's own portfolio, I still think the Model 3 looks better. And as a competitor, I think the Kia EV9 does too. What do you guys think about the stretch? Let me know in the comments. This is the new Cosmic Silver. It's got this nice metallic flake on it, and you've got the Juniper's updated LED light bar up front, turn signals down there, front pass-through for air to flow, and these are the updated 20-inch wheels. The 19-inchers are standard. There's also now a staggered tire setup, 255 up front, 275 at the back to give it more stability. This car also gets this new triple silver lining coating on the roof to reflect 95% of the sun's rays. Around back on this launch edition, you see this black lip spoiler above the LED taillight bar and this unique badge. All right, I think we're topped back up to about 80%. Let's go somewhere else to talk about the interior. All right, I'm back here in the third row where there's big news, because in the standard Model Y, there is no way I would fit in the third row at 6 feet tall. But here I am. I actually have knee room behind this seat. Yes, my knees are pitched up at an angle because of the battery placement underneath the floor, but my head clears the glass roof as well. And these seats power recline over here. Actually, all seats recline, and I'm very comfortable now. I've got air vents on the side, bringing cool air to my chest. And then I also have a cup holder and 2 USB-C ports hidden underneath the seats. So yeah, 2 full-size adults could actually sit in the third row and be comfortable. And now that this is a 6-seater configuration with 2 captain's chairs, I can pass right through to the second row. And making that process easier of getting up here is the fact that the power armrests, which raise up to support your arms, will power fold down. And the car will do that when you first open or close the doors, because it figures people want to get in or out of the third row. In this seat behind Christina's chair, which is matched with my driver's seat over here, I do have knee room, nice foot pocket room, and with the power controls over here, I can recline this seat. Tons of headroom as well underneath this fully glass roof. I mean, wow, really reclined here. And my headrest can adjust to my height. They also added air vents in the pillars for the second row passengers. You have the ones right there in the center above 2 USB-C ports, and you've got this 8-inch touchscreen with your media, your seat settings for heating and ventilation in the second row and heating in the third row. And it is rapid in the heating and cooling function. Then we also have your games and entertainment and your climate controls. One bummer is that if you did want to get to the third row and didn't want to pass through the alley, the only option is to fold the seats all the way flat. There isn't like an angle or a car seat tilt to slide it forward and give you some passage. Moving to the front seats now, I had to kick Christina into the back. Launch Series is on these tread plates, and we've got this black leatherette seating material, perforations for the first and second rows. There's also a new Zen gray material, also leatherette. Stepping inside, taking a peek at this door, we've got this suede-like material and aluminum covers for the speaker grates and fabric above that with ambient lighting. Closing up that door. Pretty solid thud, some rattle there with the frameless windows. Hey cabin crew, thanks for joining for this first drive in the new Tesla Model Y L, or long wheelbase. Up front, there aren't really any changes. We've got that 16-inch display, super quick and responsive. All your controls are baked right in. I do wish they had some redundancies on the wheel for steering wheel adjustments that would be on the rack, or door mirror adjustments here on the door. Instead, you've got to find those in the controls options for mirrors and steering. There's of course no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but the built-in navigation system works pretty well. You've got your frunk and trunk controls there. Let me actually show you the frunk real quick. because it has been enlarged just a bit on this long wheelbase model, and they added a drain plug there so you could fill it with ice and then drain it later. Have your own tailgate party. And then in the trunk, when I open that up, we can see there's a good deal of room behind that third row of seats, and this magnetized cover will actually hold its position there, and there's tons of subfloor storage with cubbies on either side. You can also fold these seats down in the third and second row. I won't do that to Christina there, but I'll fold down the third row, and the headrests will release at a certain point in time. And if you want a completely flat floor, you'll pull this out, lift up these two tabs on either side, spin this over, and then you have your completely flat surface. Back in the front seats, I've got heating and ventilation, adjusting headrests as well. Heated steering wheel with a flat bottom feels great in the hands. Turn signal stock beyond, no drive selector stock there because when you put your foot on the brake, you can slide forward for drive, back for reversed, and hold for park, and then you can also apply pressure here and get your own drive selections up above. Below this big screen, we've got two wireless charging pads. Slide forward on this textured material, I'm glad it's not gloss black, to find deep console storage, two cup holders, and then open this up for more storage, and it is leatherette topped, so all the materials feel pretty high end. And now that Mobile Mama is back up front, we can do our drive, and we will begin with full self-driving. Foot on the brake, we've got our destination input there. Start self-driving, foot off the brake. It is supervised. Yes, I do need to monitor, but I'm not having to touch the steering wheel, the throttle, or the brake, the accelerator or the brake, and it's gonna sit at this light and look for, I think, the ability to turn right on red. So it was smart, it was safe, it waited for a large enough opening, and now it went for it.
Turn left onto El Cerrito Place.
It's still gonna give me directions, which is interesting, even though it's doing all the driving. Muted. Okay, now we don't have it talking to us. We can just enjoy and monitor its progress. So far, the ride from these adaptive dampers has been excellent. It's also a stiffer vehicle now, which is going to make it feel sportier, I presume, later. It moved over to allow the vehicle to go by. Very courteous of you, Model Y. Powertrain setup, we've got dual electric motors. Here for this launch edition, it gets standard all-wheel drive. There is going to be a rear-wheel drive version of the long wheelbase Y offered later on. It's indicating appropriately, braking smoothly. 496 horsepower at our disposal. Tesla says 0 to 60 in about 4.4 seconds. It waited for the family to cross, and now it's creeping forward. Looking for a gap. We're good to go. This is actually a great test of full self-driving, supervised full self-driving, because there's so much going on in downtown LA. If it can handle this, I feel like it can handle just about anything. Yeah, so how about you, Mobile Mama? How are you feeling about this whole experience right here? Me not actually driving us, just monitoring.
I know, I'm surprised because, well, this is my first experience.
My second.
With FSD. And I feel stressed, but I know I'm gaining confidence as I'm seeing the car do its thing.
Yeah.
Especially in LA. I'm already stressed in LA.
Just being in LA.
Just, the constant, cars, people crossing the street whenever they want.
Yeah.
But this is handling it well, and it's following all the safety rules. So that's nice.
I mean, I kind
It's
of...
a better driver than you.
Hey there, watch yourself.
Lowering my anxiety.
Look, just because
he's a great driver.
I enjoy driving, I'm actually looking forward to this system as something to reduce a little bit of stress in highly congested areas like this. To your point, it's doing everything letter of the law, super smoothly, very comfortably, and so I think that this could actually make you more relaxed if you have to go in somewhere like LA, which we try to avoid like the plague.
Yes.
Now, as the confidence is building, you're feeling a little more at ease. How do you feel about the seat comfort, the ride comforts?
That is definitely adding to the comfort level because the seats are really nice. Yeah. I like this leatherette. I have 16-way power adjusting seats.
Yep, that is new, I think, the 16-way adjustment. Yeah.
That's great. Lumbar support, what?
I was gonna say, just on my end of things, I'm cutting you off here, I apologize. I wish I could lower the seat a little more. I kind of feel like I'm sitting up high. This is a problem I've experienced in a number of vehicles because I've got a longer torso, but it would still be nice if I could lower it just a little more. Even that, just right there,
Yeah,
how that handled
was...
that. A vehicle parked off to the side, delivery vehicle parked off to the side, something coming opposing traffic, but we knew we had enough time to get around, and now that it doesn't have enough time, it's gonna wait.
Oh, I want to see how it handles this.
It's kind of crazy.
Oh.
I will have to intervene. I will intervene if I need to, but
yes.
I mean, it's waiting, and now it's, okay, it seems to think that we're good.
Except that car
it hesitated.
Ahead.
Now that's one thing, as a human driver, I may not have hesitated quite as much. I definitely would not have. And so that person on the opposite side of the road wouldn't have been as confused. Oh, there's a little driverless Waymo right there. But yeah, so maybe there are slight nuances to traffic flow that FSD isn't quite as advanced, but I mean, everything else has been great.
That situation actually made me feel better because I think we're very different drivers. I liked that it assessed to make sure that everything was safe before it proceeded. So yeah, no, I felt good about that.
I think that's fair. I would rather it err on the side of safe than a little more aggressive in driving. Maybe that later is a setting. Hey, be a little more aggressive, but of course don't break the law or hurt anyone.
I don't think that's a good setting. No, I think that's just people on their own do that. We don't need to. I just like
looking at this yellow Urus right there. Yeah. Very nice.
No, it's Urus.
Urus. Just say it like an Italian. I can't. So I won't. So I'm such an FSD noob that I didn't realize that actually is something you can change. We were on the sloth mode. I thought that was just a user profile.
They do have aggressive Mad Max. That's
They've got Mad Max.
Hurry. I mean, standard. Oh boy.
I gotta try it because we're on sloth.
Like?
I mean, the sloth is the absolute slowest.
Yeah.
Chill.
I like chill.
Chill is probably where she'd end up, but Mad Max.
Oh boy.
Okay, with that mode change, I have expected it to already move around that vehicle in front of us, but maybe it still tries to stick to the speed limits, and it knew that that would be too much acceleration for that maneuver. But so far, it's still just doing its casual FSD thing. But I think I want to press pause on FSD for now and take over control, drive the Model Y for myself. All right, it's time to go. Slide forward into drive. Indicates, ooh, blind spot camera there. That's in high resolution too. That's very nice. And smoothly, gracefully, away we go. Let's see. Now I do know there are different controls for just the responsiveness. We're in standard acceleration, not the chill mode. Let's try chill to start. Ooh, that already slackened up the responsiveness quickly.
I like that.
And this is the standard level of braking regen. Let's move it to reduced just to see how that does. Make sure we're clear here. And there's another Model Y, a standard one pulling out. And we're joining the road. I like chill because it waits a sec, but of course you still have that instant responsiveness of an electric powertrain. And then here in the reduced mode, I do need to apply braking force, and as I do, it's a very good response from that pedal to come up to a gradual stop, and then up and away. That's like the only hiccup I felt in the suspension so far. Bit of a hop. No, it's also really quiet in here.
Yes, it is.
Super duper quiet inside this cabin. They did add some laminate to the rear glass, and they lowered the NVH level through a variety of different measures, and that is shining through. Even the last Model Y I drove, the performance was not this quiet, and it's not just the tire noise, it's just very mellow. I love it. I like the steering feel as well. This small diameter rack makes it feel sporty, and just the way it responds to inputs is great. I do need to change it up. Let's try out the standard level of regeneration. Already took my foot off the brake and it's like, we're stopping. Actually, I've got to do a real world 0 to 60. So I moved it back into the standard acceleration mode. I've got a nice straight stretch here. Race box is set up to record. Let's do this. Let's go. Wow. There's 60 in 4.5 seconds. And on a slight uphill, that gels with Tesla's quoted time. Super quick. And hot on the heels of that excitement, how about a turning radius test? And first, the turn signal sound is a classic tone.
It's totally fine.
I don't mind that at all. All right, turning radius now. Wheel fully cranked. And that's pretty tidy. Good turning circle, Model Y.
Oh, Playboy's taking off.
Yeah. Oh boy,
oh,
there he goes.
Boy, Playboy's about to hit someone. Gosh.
She's saying that because his license plate says Playboy. Can we lock people up who can't drive in full self-driving vehicles, please? So it's quick. It's quiet. The ride is, for the most part, very pleasant. Occasional hiccups over big defects in the road. The seats are very comfortable. That's the around town experience. And I gotta just show, now in the standard regen braking setting, taking my foot off here, we'll still need some intervention, not a full one pedal drive experience, but when I do go to the brake, it's so good. But in this long wheelbase model, there's also a mode for a rear comfort balance to the ride quality, and I can't tell you what that's like here. I need to go back to that third row. So Mobile Mama, are you ready to take over?
Sure.
Okay, first, I do think the handling is actually quite good. Very stable, of course, with the batteries down low, lowering that center of gravity, but the steering feel is very sharp. For an EV, it's actually entertaining to drive. And this is with the steering set in the standard level of resistance. There is a heavy set mode, but let's try that to compare. Usually I don't like artificial weight added to steering. This one certainly doesn't give you any more feel, but it certainly doesn't ruin anything. Let me try the light as a comparison. I actually prefer this. It sort of counteracts the understanding that you're driving a heavier vehicle, it being an EV, with delicacy to the steering input. All right, Mobile Mama, my work here is done. Let's get to the third row and get you in the driver's seat.
Sounds good. I'm going to prioritize rear comfort.
Thank you.
Because I care about your comfort more than my own.
I know you do. You're so sacrificial like that.
Thank you.
Is it just driving on its own?
It says that. Driving with no destination.
Maybe that's just the mode when you just want to get out, you know? You just want to cruise. Can you roll up these rear windows, though?
Yeah.
I do appreciate the breeze, but I've got the vents on the side now. And I'm rocking the leg down the middle aisle. This is good.
This is stress-free for me.
That's good for me, because I know the road's a little chewed up, but feels,
how's it feel back there?
Feels good. It's like a light massage. The non-deep tissue massage. That's the one I went for. The Swedish. I went with the Swedish massage. Also, these seats are comfy too. Good padding. Oh, wait, I didn't even recline. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We should do this more often, babe.
Oh, just
you driving me around? Yeah.
We've done it 2 weeks in a row now. I think we're good.
I know. I like this trend.
Oh.
Let's keep it going. We are actively watching Mobile Mama fall in love with not having to drive herself places.
No, uh-oh. Is this on our list now?
Oh, my.
Not
sure. Oh, we've made it to UCLA. Go Bruins!
Bruins! Just kidding. We're not. We
don't really care. You know what's crazy is you seem so far away.
Yeah.
But when you look at the exterior of this Model Y, it does not seem that big. But
That's
from
true.
here, you're like an eternity away. There's so much room.
Yeah. It's kind of nice having a little break.
Yeah, but also
from you.
But yeah, I don't have to shout at all, and I know you can hear everything I'm saying. And you speaking in that direction, unlike me speaking in your direction.
I can hear you perfectly clear.
I can hear you perfectly clear. As we bring this one to a close, one other observation for you. All this glass, I mean, it does bring in a ton of light, makes the cabin feel bright, and it's a great atmosphere. This is tinted, but if you wanted a shade to cover that up, no dice. They offer that in some other vehicles with the fully glass roof. It's not something Tesla does. So that glass, if you ever touch it, does feel very hot, but with that, what's the silver thing? What's it called?
Triple silver.
Triple silver.
Lining. Coating.
The cabin didn't feel crazy warm on a really hot day. So I will note that it's just gonna be a bit brighter than a shade. But all this glass does also mean the visibility from that driver's seat is excellent. You can see down that downward sloped hood very well. The pillars are not crazy thick. This is a blind spot, but it's way back here, and you do have blind spot monitoring to help with that. And now that I've teleported back into the driver's seat, two last things to show you from this position, and they're appropriate for a parking lot. The first is the horn. What does that sound like? Oh. It's got an interesting tone, and it feels like it's so far away. The last thing is the backup camera system. So let me pull off here and slide back into reverse. Super high resolution, I mean crazy crystal clear. And we've got trajectory lines, and we don't have a bird's eye view, but we do have the front facing corners, rear facing corners, and those trajectory lines to get us back, along with parking sensors. Ooh, and I like that that shows the wheel position, so you can make sure you're right between those lines. And yeah, bird's eye view would actually help a little bit, but I can nudge it just there, and I think, let's just confirm, but I think, oh, I don't even have to hit park, that we are right in the lines. Look at that. Nicely done, Miles. The camera system works. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this first drive. We'll see you again next time.